Jeremy Henderson, skateboard legend, right? Just straight off the bat, right?
I was living in London, right?
Right.
And then I came over to LA to try to go to high school, get a job. And I worked at a gallery called Larry Gagosian on the off time in the summer. And the first art show that summer that came in, this guy named Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was young. And Basquiat didn't get along with like Anina Nosei, and we got along with these people because they were dealers. But how far can you get along with somebody you're just doing business with? It's a business relationship, right?
It wasn't like a friendship, like
so then they wanted to have him kind of be humanized. So they introduced him to Steve Koivisto, Fred Sutherland, and then Steve and Fred brought him over to my house because they had been out carousing, doing coke.
And these are your buddies?
Yeah.
These are people that you knew?
And we worked for Gagosian and hung shows for Larry and kind of looked out for Larry at the time in some strange art gallery way. But mostly Fred would do the physical hard work and the constructive work, and whereas Steve Koivisto and myself would end up doing like the human things, like, you know, trading a vest or something like that, or getting coffees or whatever you have to do for some gallery guy, right?
I got you.
He's part of the Armenian mafia too. You know, Larry Gagosian. He's gigantic now, right?
Heard that name before. It sound like a very familiar name.
Big guy. But. And then you have other guys like Tony Shafrazi, and you know, it's that later on that shows Jean-Michel's work, and Vrej Begumian, who fought for the Basquiat estate and stuff against his dad, and they all were the part of the Armenian mafia. So it started kind of with Larry Gagosian. Oh, mafia. That's a big word. But in the art world, go look at it, okay?
I got you. So you became friends. So basically, you're a skateboard.
We were humans.
Right.
In LA, working at our gallery.
Humans in LA.
Meet this guy.
Right. You meet this guy, and then you become friends with him. Right. And so
we weren't dealers. We were just workers at the gallery.
Right. You're just
Straight
workers.
Yeah.
Right. But you're also a skateboard legend at the same time.
Now you're throwing in that. I like the curveball.
Right. Because
I like the curveball.
But this is the reality of like.
Yeah. So skateboarding is doldrum out. It's 82, and like there was like some skateboarding scene.
But
going.
you're the first legends of skateboarder from the 70s, the late 70s, 76,
right. We had a crew in London called
So is there any skateboard legends prior to you?
Yes, I would say so, because of course everyone in something for their heart loves the priors, even if they're just the first pioneers. But before us, there was great skateboarders, and you had to like also look to other people who were like Larry Bertelman. For me, who influenced? He was a great skateboarder, but he's a barefoot skateboarder from Hawaii who could surf his balls off. Amazing. Barry Kanaiapuni, like he was an amazing surfer, but if you wanted to skateboard, no problem. So skateboarding for some people was just easy. That's amazing. Think about it. You come some other sport, you go and grab a skateboard and just kill it.
Right. I can see that off
Find
surf.
that now. I mean, it's not that easy now even. A BMXer, okay, you can come over and kill a skate on a vert ramp, but not really. It's rare to find people who can just translate and go right into that extreme of an activity or whatever they call it. So I came from extreme sports, skateboarding, a lot of vert, pools.
Right, energy.
And Europe was amazing. I was an ambassador in that period in the 70s. And
were you the first ambassador, like generation?
In the first crew of the first half dozen of London influencers.
To have boards and shoes.
London, England, you know?
Right.
So there's a whole separate skate business and culture and ideology of growing in Scotland, Ireland, Wales. You know, Cornwall had arguably one of the first best skate parks in Cornwall, England. Okay. Incredible waves and transition perfect and bowls in Watergate Bay, and we went down there and skated a contest. So bottom line is, yes, I did a lot of skateboarding. I was an ambassador, one of half dozen, like John Soblowski, you know, and a few others. I can name them all, but I don't want to right now. So yes, I'm part of an ambassadorial crew of early pioneer skateboarders that were in Europe.
Okay,
but we may not have been from Europe. We weren't from Europe. You know?
I'm just putting it in the context. So you're skateboarder, first generation legendary dudes, what you would call influencers now, to have boards, to have your own boards.
We had that going then.
Right, you're doing it. And then, so now you're saying it's like 81, 82, you're in LA. Right. So 5 or 6 years have now gone by.
So skateboarding kind of goes doldrum in 81, it's still got the concrete, but then about 81, 82, 83, it's challenged. A lot of most skate parks have closed for some reason. It goes into the doldrums or the dark period. And that's when it went punk. Skateboarding saved itself by its britches by having a bunch of hardcore bands and hardcore guys, and then zines came out. And what is Thrasher Magazine?
Right.
Just that savior.
So that's what's making it more popular.
Thrasher Magazine was only that savior strap that kept skateboarding going into the 80s. Because of the early 80s. If Kevin Thatcher, love him, rest his soul, I think he's not doing too good. I love him. I hope he's doing great. But I also know he's not. So Kevin Thatcher started a zine, and he had this one great artist named Mofo Rising Foish. And Mofo, who's still a great photographer and artist, Mofo did the first punk rock rapidograph pen drawings throughout the zine for Thrasher. Then Thrasher's small, dirty paper format, upcycled format paper zine went up. It went bigger, wider, larger, and it became Thrasher magazine.
Got you. And that's what everybody...
So again, that's the doldrum period of time. So I was not trying to break it.
In this doldrum period of time, though, you're in LA, New York. And this is when you're meeting Basquiat.
Right. So right when the doldrum's hardest, I'm like, damn, there's no more skating. There's no more... LA's not really going on. Like, you could ride to empty pools here and there, schoolyards with Lance or something like that. You could catch up with your friends, but it wasn't really booming. There was no contest. It wasn't like, oh, wow, the sport's going forward right now. It wasn't like now whatsoever.
So you got a job, basically.
Went to college for a bit, played tennis at Pepperdine, kicked out, left out, whatever, went and got a job at Gagosian Gallery. Okay. And then I met those guys, and I met Basquiat. That's it.
Okay.
I can do a fast version, but let's...
No, I mean,
we're
just going to go as the pace that it goes, because we're talking about this moment in time that we're sharing, and making this piece of clothing, and really just connecting of like how you got there. So now you're there, and now you meet Basquiat, and you don't just meet him as a person, because you can meet people all day long. You meet people, but you had a friendship.
No, we're bros. Like, he came to me, fiended out on cocaine, going, do you have any weed? And I was like, that's this real-time story. So, and then I was like, yes, 2 a.m., putting my boxer shorts on, getting out of bed, and rolling a spliff for him. This is real story, real talk, because the art world and the fashion world doesn't really care about your health.
That's deep.
No, if you die early in the art world, they love it.
It's like a good thing.
What happened to Jean? He died early. They loved it. Now, who's the most expensive painter's paintings in Sotheby's or Christie's? Jean.
That's deep.
We're just talking true here. That's true. So again, if you have the mental acuity to perceive why we love these guys, the come and goers, the quick ones, they're kind of like a wasp. Like a wasp don't make honey, but they're special to watch. They might do some other shit we don't know about.
Right, some different moves.
They might run their whole clan.
Right, you don't
their whole thinking. So if you look into Jean's work, and like we were saying, not like we were saying, if you look into Jean's work, there's a narrative that's so anti-racism. It's gorgeous. But you have to be able to read sarcasm, and you got to be able to read
the different levels.
All his blackface, his Negro athletes. If you just charge into it, you're going to see he's just saying it what it is.
Word. I mean, he's definitely.
We got a fat, white, rich gluck of cremas just thinking they run shit. When you dark, deep state, you can shade it any way you like. It's just not true, right? And Jean was able to shoot holes through that with his paintings. Imagine just not. So let's say you have a neurosis about politics, neurosis. This guy hates Trump, this and that. All of a sudden, you're just doing these paintings that are intense, that are just shooting holes.
This is Reagan. That's
therapy.
You're talking about, but he's doing this during Reagan.
So his painting is therapy for how dysfunctional society is.
Word.
How many 28-year-olds got an art career in New York at the time? He's going up to Jean-Michel is going up to Andy Warhol trying to sell postcards. That's a scene in what?
To one of the movies.
Julian Schnabel's movie.
Right, I saw the movie.
Written by somebody about Jean-Michel. But Jean-Michel was making postcards all the time for anybody and everybody.
He was just doing it.
Just making them and giving them out. Like, he was just chilling, dude, living on Hotel F.
Word.
Washington Square, going through trash cans. And he was making all sorts of little art and collages. Playing
as an artist should.
Playing a strange band, making art weird sounds. In a band called Grey with other guys. He was experimenting with sound and art and stuff. He was John Cagey, he was going a little more out there. Not just your regular Brooklyn kid.
Right, I got you. I always felt like, this is a sidebar, but she drives Fine Young Cannibals.
Yeah.
I always felt like
one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, like that
Roland Gift. Sorry.
The lead singer of that group.
Yeah, Roland
always
Gift.
kind of just reminded me, once I saw Basquiat, it was like they gave me like a vibe.
They hung out together at Madame Rose's. So when Jean-Michel would DJ at Madame Rose's, I'd go in there and I'd see some guy in the back with an actor. Like, I know that guy. He played in the band Fine Young Cannibals, Roland Gift, like he was just talking about. And homeboys hanging out with Jean-Michel in the DJ booth.
But don't you feel that that's
they were friends?
If he didn't do like weirdo music for weirdos, and
if he didn't have a bad heroin,
if
Jean didn't have a heroin addiction, he was so shiny and bright-eyed and a gifted.
They would have had a hit. He would have had a hit.
He was definitely he was recording music. He did beat bop with Rammellzee and K-Rob. Honestly, if he didn't do heroin, he would have been more of a musician.
I got you.
That's true. I mean, unfortunately, like all musicians do heroin and they die.
It's tough.
It's an unfortunate way to put it, but because it becomes like a mistress or something, or it becomes closer than how other people can appreciate a pharmaceutical or something that distorts your perceptions. And
I understand. There's a lot of pain in people. All right, so now to connect this to what we're doing now, because we're talking about, so we have a piece of art here. How do we get, so we're going to tell people about this piece of art. So you become friends with Basquiat, and there's a moment now where he gives you a book. Right, word. You guys are hanging out.
Well, later on, so you see him in nightclubs, like I just mentioned. Like
you already have a friendship before this picture that we're talking about that we're going to print.
L.A. We were friends, and then I met him through my job and his job. And then later on, he says that New York's the cultural center of America, and I argue, and I was like, nah, maybe Frisco or this and that. And I'm trying to give like some props to the other people or other places. And he's like argumentatively saying, absolutely not. Like, get your ass back to New York. So eventually, like within 3 months, I moved back to New York. You know what I mean? After I was in LA. And I went to art school. I went to Parsons and stuff. I went to the Art Student League, Parsons, and was going to get into Pratt, and then switched.
But you're doing art.
Applied to Cooper Union, but I was making art. And then I started getting assistant jobs. So you start to work as an artist assistant for everybody. But and then he needed a job. He needed me to assist him sometimes.
Right.
So honestly, between 82 and 84, sometimes, maybe here and there, I would help Brian Williams or I'd help Jean doing assistant work.
So these 2 years, so you meet him in 82 and it's in 84, and this is where we have this picture to put it in a moment in time. You have 2 years of artist to artist, like brotherhood, just being bros, hanging out, being young guys. Like, how old are you guys at this time?
Raging in nightclubs, chasing the same girls, sharing girlfriends. Like, that's the time we're in. So you really got to understand the early 80s and the mid 80s of New York is just hype.
How old were you and how old was him? Like, how old are you guys? Are you in your 20s? Are you 24, 25, 23, 22?
22 to 25.
Okay, got you. So you're the young guys, and you just living it, And
he's the same age.
Got you. So you're like brothers in arms, just doing it.
Yeah, it was. The thing was that people talk about. So many people try to possess him as a being, but some of his best friends, like good friends, Al Diaz, Pablo Caballero, like guys who really were his real friends that he'd never told anybody he was his friends with him. That kind of friend.
I got you.
I think people are really precious on friendship, right?
Right.
So Jean was precious on true friendship, and he had a bunch of socialite friends. Too many.
Got you.
A lot of people knew Jean.
Fleeting energy.
But you know what I mean? Like, how many people really knew him? Now, like, maybe 2 or 3. And those 2 or 3 guys, one guy, the Italian guy, not in the movie, that guy's not him. It's maybe a portrayal, possibly, of one of those real friends. But even those guys, Schnabel was writing into the film to point out that what was happening to Jean-Michel is complete misguidance and drug addictness, and like he's just riding around the west side, hollering out of the back of some Italian guy's car. That's not what he was fucking doing. He was riding his own bicycle around in a beautiful suit, picking up whoever he wanted.
That's the one that person that you knew. Like the person that you were hanging out with was
You'd
like
see him
more
in
real.
A black or gray, blue pinstripe Comme des Garçons shoe or Issey Miyake jacket, 3/4 length. You see him dressed to the teeth on a beautiful fucking small little bike with his dreadlocks bopping out of some weird bowler hat. And you're like, that guy is just unique. And you loved his style. So Jean-Michel was fashion influencer to the top.
Just because he's waking up in the morning going like, yo, I want to be comfortable and I basically want to flex in a certain way.
His own flex, his own fashion, his own style was completely diesel. Straight diesel compared to other people who were so influenced. He was diesel.
But also, if you're on drugs like that, it's not like you have a whole wardrobe that you can mentally be like, you got to wear the same shit over and over.
$600 pants and shirts got paint on them.
Right. So you got $600 pants and shirts.
Dope. He looks dope with a dollop of cadmium oil paint, blue or red, just blopped onto his shirt.
It's the life that's really
doing it. It's like $700 jacket, and you're like, dude, there's paint on it, but it looks great. Like, you know.
But you're gonna wear that. You're gonna wear that 5 out of 7 days of the week. Especially if you're young.
He was.
And if you're doing drugs and stuff like that. It's not like you're doing laundry. Like, it's not like you're living a cycle of like.
Now you're talking. So like, there'd be like, in his Venice studio in '84, I worked for him at Fred Hoffman's on Market Street, and for example, a lot of these beautiful Catherine Hammett pants, these cargo pants, all these beautiful jackets and shirts by Comme des Garçons and Issey Miyake are just thrown in the back with paint all over them. And I'm cleaning brushes, looking at him, going, "What? Is he gonna throw these away? Yo, can I get these cargo pants? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they look like fatigues, but they're made by some fancy French designer.
They just look cool.
You know what I mean? I'm like, don't make it those. But they had paint dolloped on. He's like, I fucked him. You can have them. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, there's paint all over them. And I looked at him, I was like, oh man, these are so dope. I liked them with the paint spills, sprites, you know?
Got you.
So when people walk around with like paints on their pants, like,
sometimes you don't know if it's
a real thing. Maybe they're painters. You know what I'm saying?
But also it could be like, and no knock on Guitar Center, but like Guitar Center could sell you guitars that are brand new that have all the nicks already, but you didn't really live those nicks. You didn't really, get that paint on you, like for your pants and stuff.
No, that's a good point right there. It's like when you get someone else's clothes or someone else's stuff, if that person is an influencer or important, you're going to tell people that that's their clothes. Now, this is seemingly what we're doing, but it's not. What we're actually doing is pointing out that he was an influencer. Not like, hey, let's use Basquiat to get Snowball fat. No, this guy was an influencer in fashion. So we're doing a piece because we're influencers in the combination of art and fashion.
I dig it, bro. I'm following your lead, man. Like,
no. We're collaborators in that concept that if you draw a beautiful on the canvas of your denim as a canvas, if you do it, I've done it many times and I get bored and I just go ahead and just paint or scribble on my pant leg on one spot. People look at you like, "Well, I wonder why you did that. Are you autistic?" And I'm like, I just let it go. I just let it flow.
Just living, man. You're just doing it.
And that's what Dave does. That's what Snow Milk is. It's like you have to recognize that at some point in time, art and clothing, like we said, art and fashion, they don't need to be
super far
yin
apart.
and yang, schizo, bipolar puppies. They can be together, chilling.
I dig it, man. Well, I appreciate you bringing this to the table. So, all right. So now we're gonna lock it down. So, all right. So, 84, October 8th, 1984, right? Because we're gonna show a picture of a drawing that Basquiat did.
There it is. We're on that moment. You're right.
This is a picture that Basquiat drew for you. First, he gave you this book, right? And this book came out in 1981.
So we leave area one, let's say, night in 1984 in October. It was kind of cold, and we go over to his Great Jones loft or space, and we go on the brick front, and he goes up to the grotto and disappears with it, and he comes back down with his friend David Bose, and he's got a little stack of books in his hand, and these are these books. And these books...
Can you show up to the people like this? Like, just imagine that's the person, like, just show them so they
like
can
this.
see.
He shows me these books, and he's got a few of them. Like,
this is his first books. Like, he's excited. He's like, this.
Yeah,
is
it's an art catalog, but he's like, look. It's not just Basquiat. He's like, look. And he holds it to me like that, like, look. And I grab it, and it says Basquiat, Clemente, Warhol. And you're going, and it says collaborations. Now, that's great. It's a book by Bruno Bischofberger coming out of Switzerland that was the collaborative art event of these three individuals, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Francesco Clemente, and Andy Warhol. And so when he gives me the book, I open it up and like, wow, cool book. And then he decides to sign it, and he signs it. And I don't know how to break it down, but he signed it personally.
Can you break it down like this first? Show him a blank page of how like a blank page is. So the page that Basquiat drew on for Jeremy.
So the book is like this, right?
Yeah, originally looked like this.
With a painting and then a little description.
And then a blank, So you got a painting and then you got a blank paper, right? Just with something written on it. So now he's going to show you what Basquiat drew on the blank paper that had nothing on it. So the whole drawing that you see is in this moment in time. So
but that's the explanation here. So clearly trying to let you know that it came from him giving me a book because he was excited to show that he was now like, big time, big time with big guys, not just doing his own little group shows or whatever. And he was big, that he was with Warhol and this guy. And so when you go ahead and describe it, for example, when he signed it, I'm jumping forward, but when he signs it, he dedicates it to me, and I'm like, wow, he's dedicating it to me. And then he signs it, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like a bank check. And he goes, no. And then he signed it underneath himself, way better. Jean-Michel Basquiat with like a copyright. And over here, it's like a check signature. And it seemed really interesting that he did that to me because when he did that for me or to me. So it says here, to and for Jeremy.
You can show it to them. They're literally that camera right there.
Okay.
Yeah, just like, boop. And then they can see exactly what you're talking about.
To and for Jeremy. That's a dedication. So he gave me a book, but then he drew on it. And then he breaks me down psychoanalytically.
Tell him.
It's not. I've known the guy for a while. We got some background, mutual girlfriends and this and that. A little bit of salt, a little bit of brine, mostly love, and a lot of help. I mean, I've helped him days on end to help Shanghai shit out of the basement, etc. I've done a lot of things for him, and it's not a lot of things I've done like other than clean his brushes, and pick up an ex-girlfriend and make a beautiful child with her. Thank you, Jean-Michel, and thank you, Kaya, for being born. Thank you, Robin Turner, the mother, for leaving Jean. So, I mean, that's reality. I have a child because of Jean-Michel Basquiat.
God bless, man.
And God bless. So, again, I should be giving homage back to my good buddy here and pointing this out. This is not just something I come back to New York to sell for $200,000. This is something I come back to New York and hold on to and show the preciousness with a fellow collaborative artist who's actually got a great business rolling. And what is that about? One-off art pieces on clothing. That's how art and fashion together, And
it's 41 years. So this is October 8th, 1984. So right now we're in 2025.
So 41 years ago, we got this dude, and he invites me over to his place after Area nightclub, and I'm with my girlfriend Helen from London, Helen Saunders, and he's attracted to her, and he writes down, because of that, there's a dominance in this drawing about eros, and talking about that helper or visitor being or God that was the God of love, right? In Rome and Greece. Eros if it's Grecian or Macedonian spelling, or Eros if it's Italian. So he wrote that on here, and it's Eros, and then it's arrow, little drawing of Eros or arrow over here. And then it says reptile mask, and there's a big crocodile right there, I think. or you can call it what you like, but it's a reptile.
Same thing, alligator or crocodile. I mean,
alligator or crocodile.
It's one of the two.
And I get it. I got a long, pinheaded looking Irish jaw, and and then I'm like, I get it. And then he's got these crazy big teeth. I got crazy big teeth, and he's got bleeding gums, and I got bleeding gums. So it's like, oh shit, my nickname becomes B Gums. He even copyrights it. Ask Mark Gonzalez. So I get a nickname. I didn't really ask for it, And it's interesting because only certain people know that one. My nickname isn't Eros or Eros. It's B Gums.
There it is, man.
So there's a truth about this drawing. It ends up being my nickname. Dated by him. Reptile mask, do not detach. I think what he was saying, again, was Eros needs to protect himself with a reptile mask.
That's deep.
So the crocodile is a pirate. If the crocodile is the pirate captain is also a horn dog.
Okay.
So you got to cover his ass.
All right.
How many pirate captains you met will hump even a sailor? They'll hump a piece of wood or a rat or a cat or a wife. But I'm saying to you, how many pirates you know that are kind of like crocodiles? They just chomp you if they feel like it.
I hear you. I see, and they're contrasting because one's above the water and one's underneath the water.
So I like the idea that he said if Eros was alive, it might be the kind of being that needs to wear a mask.
It's deep, bro.
So this drawing, I mean, you can interpret that way, or you can interpret.
If anybody knows anything about the interpretation, it's going to be you, because if you're standing there, so you're sitting there and he's drawing it with the paper, like the markers that you have laying around.
Yeah.
And he's just drawing and coloring it in, and I mean that takes time to color it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a light character. So Eros,
that looks like an egghead to me.
That's a light
like
character.
Egg yolk.
It looks like an egg yolk, but it's a light. It must be a light character. It's light involved with it. And he was doing it. I thought he was just doing it with China marker, like his little grease pencil. But I looked over and he had like 3 little colors. I mean, the green and I saw green and blue, but there's green, blue.
It could be crayons, but it could also be like the more ones that are more
that's what he had.
oil-based.
No, he had Caran d'Ache crayons. Caran d'Ache in a little metal tin. Caran d'Ache crayons, and he was like that.
Got you.
So that's where it came from. And it ends up looking, to me, I was like, yo, it looks like a painting. And I felt really grateful because it was more than just a book dedicated. So that's why. I
mean, that's more than a signature. First off, he signed it twice, but he also drew you a picture. Not to say that, like, in that moment, like, assets mean anything.
Dedication.
But what he gave to you ultimately financially, if you ever choose to even sell it, it definitely is more than that moment.
It's more so people, maybe he's humble enough, like you're saying, maybe he's humble enough to say, hey, I'm just an artist, I'm gonna live for a while, I may not be a famous one, blah blah blah, here's my book. Or maybe he's like so stoked, like, no, Jeremy, like, let me reflect you and show you that I've made it. And there was kind of a little bit of a dominant factor, like a little bit of a head trip factor. When I left at 5 a.m. and he wanted my girlfriend again, I was like, yo.
He's like, I'm gonna draw you this picture, man. So I gotta take her. I gotta go.
I didn't get you over, but here's a book.
Here's a drawing.
But it's not like that easy to say it, because we were friends for 4 or 5 years by then. So you kind of have water under the bridge, right?
The only way I could see it, as far as like it being like, if he knows, he's like, oh, I'm about to pop off and my shit's about to be worth money. I don't know if he's already making money at this point, because he is. So then for him, he might be like, you know what, Jeremy, like, I know that I'm blowing up and I'm gonna draw this for you because I know it'll be worth something, and I want to do this for you. And even though it's only gonna take me 30 minutes, 25 minutes while I smoke this joint, I'm gonna do this for you.
No doubt he was actually quite conscious. No doubt. This is the day when he would write these kind of poems. This is the type of Jean-Michel I was dealing with. It says, unable to sting her or fly away. That's Helen. He was unable to sting her, and he couldn't fly away because he was high on heroin, so he had to go back to bed. I'm just saying that this is the guy. And then if you look at the next page, it's going to say, very obvious, askew, odd, off base. I loved his truth in his poems. Neon shoe repair, effective 1201, and ped crossing, an evil cat with a top hat jumping out of a sewer with a M80 in his hand. They don't have hands. A cat pouring tacks on his tongue. Now there it comes down to this. Crocodile as pirate.
And that's what you're saying when you see the crocodile in the picture.
Why did he give me a reptile mask for a crocodile? I'm literally a pirate, so it's like it's perfect. Or then we talk jokingly about that pirate in, what's it called? Peter Pan.
Hook.
Captain Hook, yeah. So it's like, those guys were so attracted to each other that the crocodile and the pirate, doesn't matter which one's which.
It's just contrast, but they're like yin yang.
You know what I mean?
All right, so now, okay, that was amazing.
But that's Basquiat. Like, again, he's pointing out that, that
things are like magnetism. It's like it's connected to each other.
He would mess with it too. Not many. His artwork. If you look at the images of Jean's artwork, he uses the crocodile not that many times, and when he does use it, it's going to be evidently on a larger scheme of affairs, and a larger factor. For example, in the Eli Broad room at the Palladium, big giant crocodile that was saying "eep eep," which is what the Roadrunner does. And it's like that's what was on the wall over the bar, and everyone was like loving this multicolored giant crocodile. There's images of it you can find, but he only did a few, and they would usually be big.
Right.
So it must have been
rep seem like crocodiles is like it's like a note that he's playing, but he doesn't play it too often.
It's part of his fewer
played notes,
icon notes.
Right, I got you.
And like that, like when I say icon notes, I mean he might be pointing at something.
He does a lot of crowns and stuff like that, and you see the crown a lot in things. Yeah. But
rarely do you see a crown above a reptile.
That's deep.
So that's the point about this drawing. Maybe Sotheby's or Christie's later on, if I die, and when I die, they're going to look at it and go, "Yo, this is important because it's a crown above one of his reptiles."
Only you know that.
So maybe I'm one of the few crowned reptile guys out there.
I mean, I think.
Or maybe I'm Eros with his mask on.
You're a blessed guy for sure.
But it's not about me. It's about the fact that the guy gave the art piece to me, and then it's about us giving an art piece back to him.
All right, so let's talk about the art.
Isn't it about us?
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. It's the whole cycle of it. Right. You can't ignore it. You have to embrace it. It's the universe is pulling these strings, and we just in our time here have to just give and be of service to it. So
making evident the heartstrings that were formed in true time between true individuals. That as my life has gone on, I haven't become large in the art world or tried to drain my energies really hard with like being magnetically absorbed by large cities and becoming a bigger household name, quote unquote. What I'd like to do is just make great art and have that circulate. So I mostly just make stuff and give it to people or assist in other aspects. I worked for Cirque du Soleil. I was a designer of the first skateboarding and choreographed the first skateboard music act for them.
Fire.
And I didn't finish the job. It was a fire creation event, but I just wasn't able to do it because they wanted to bring in full-time athletes and stuff. And how many guys are you going to find do 14 shows a week?
It's a lot, man.
Skaters.
It's a lot.
And skating, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to put that in the circus. So again, I didn't put skateboarding in the circus.
You've done a lot of things, man.
I had the option to.
You've done a lot of things, and you have a good energy. And I've seen your art, and you're a real artist. It's like real artists make art.
People say, you want to be a godfather of New York. You wanted to be the godfather of New York. I said, absolutely not. If anybody like Jeff Pang said, Jeremy's our godfather of New York City, that's not true. What is true is I'm part of a crew of writers, old school writers like Jamie Afamato, Papo Capiello, Andy Kessler. It goes back. There's more, but
Christian,
those three.
Christian, didn't you guys do a lot of stuff with Christian, or he's a little bit later than you?
Josue?
Yeah,
we did. And Christian came a lot to New York, so Christian Josue is part of us, and no joke. But I'm talking about those are larger overall influences in skateboarding. But I'm talking about just the core New York guys who are skateboarding the half pipe area.
Right.
For Fellini. $50 tips throwing it in. Skating your boxer shorts for my prostitute girlfriends.
Working.
Me and Jules and Papo and Puppet stripped down to our boxer shorts and skated a half pipe in a nightclub called Area in our boxer shorts. That's what you're telling me, that Warhol used to come and watch you guys. I was just talking about Federico Fellini, the director from Italy, with his prostitutes giving us 50s through the fence. We're like, whoa, let's get some daiquiris,
Living it.
So I mean, skateboarding, we put skateboarding in nightclubs. We put skateboarding in the Palladium, hip-hop clubs. We put it in Limelight. We put it in Irving Plaza a couple different times for Payday. We were there for the hip hop peoples, whatever. Skateboarding and hip hop then became together. Unfortunately, by the time the rave days came, it was just
the 90s you're talking about now.
It was there mixed up in an odd way by the time,
I got you.
Nightclubbing and skateboarding and drugs and all that, and people had a hard time separating and isolating that shit.
Right. I got you.
Just as Jean-Michel did. A lot of skaters went in that and they come out bad.
I understand, bro.
So that's the thing, what we're doing here is I think we're going to eventually make this real positive. Not eventually, like too long. Right now, it's positive.
The whole thing is positive. All right, so now we got the picture, and now we're in 2025, and you brought this, you unearthed this after 21 years. You know what I mean? You see Snow Milk and what we're doing, and the energy brought it out. So now we're gonna print on. And you told me, you want a Comme des Garçons shirt, right?
Word. So as an art influencer, Jean-Michel was, like I said, riding down the bike with his dreadlocks, bopping out of a bowler hat with his killer Miyake Comme des Garçons collection of clothes. People saw him and went, "Wow, I want to dress like that guy." You know what I mean? And there'd be paint splatters on his clothes too. Like, oh shit, you want to that looks fucking really cool. This guy's unique. He's not fronting artist, he is artist. And he's got one of those little bikes that are got the teeny little wheels that fold. Like from Italy or Europe.
Tiny ones.
He's a unique motherfucker. And he stops and he says a couple things to you with his little chain on his vest, you know what I mean? He looks like
he's just living it, right?
The classic Haitian dready gentleman.
I got you.
And he's Rasta in his love. He's like a Rasta loving it.
But he's looking you in the eye when he talks to you. Basically, he's like giving you real energy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's Rasta love. He's like, you don't feel that Jean's like some scrapping around trying to get laid, gonna get prostitutes guy.
He's not taking
Girls
anything
are fighting for his time.
I got you.
You know what I mean? He don't have to look for a girlfriend.
And you're saying now, so this Comme des Garçons shirt, because that's what he wore, style, influence, and fashion. And you said double-breasted pocket.
So homeboy rode some fat Hawaiian joints, so he'd always wear these 2 pockets. And the 2 pocket, he was his favorite, maybe his favorite, I think, because I saw him mostly wearing them. And then the pockets came out and folded over. And Ray was smart because that stuff, that way you could put things securely inside the pocket that folded over and shut itself. And she did that perfectly with a Japanese view, that like with that, the way Japanese touch fabric, they leave a little extra or something.
A little more space or something?
Yeah.
Give it a little, you can put stuff in it.
And the way the cut it was more square.
I got you.
So even if you were lanky, tall, kind of linear, triangular kind of guy, it would square you out a bit and look you a little more broad. You know what I mean? So it's like her cut was, as far as dress shirts went, you know, you're looking at Paul Smith, you're looking at different nice dress shirts, and
that's the one.
Comb pretty much Ray just topped it off.
So I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna find this shirt, right? I'm gonna purchase the shirt. We have the blank shirt.
And we dedicate it right there.
Dedicate as a 1 of 1.
This is 1 of 1. One sculpture.
One shirt.
It's a fashion sculpture we're making here, right?
Of this one picture that nobody's seen in 41 years. It's just your private thing, and now you're gonna put it on this shirt that he used to wear with the double pocket breast. We're gonna buy it on
precisely
Depop or Poshmark or something.
He used to wear this shirt. We used to wear the shirt because he wore the shirt. Many other people, even women, would steal his shirts. You know the story about Madonna stealing one of these, huh?
I don't know these stories, man.
There's a story. We can make this a little deeper.
Ahead.
You guys don't want the truth. You asked Madonna if she didn't take one of Jean's shirts with or without money in the pocket. Just ask her.
With the money in the pocket?
With or without money. I didn't say like I don't know if there was money in the pocket. I'm just asking.
I got you saying it.
Did Madonna, when she was with Jean-Michel at various points in times, ever take a couple of his Comme des Garçons shirts? I'm just asking that question, and it's not like a negative thing to ask, Madonna.
But it's water under the bridge, though. At this point, I mean, everybody's a legend already, and now we're just
but it's just funny because people love Madonna and they love Jean-Michel,
right?
And they love the fact that those two got together for a while.
It's better that she took the shirt because then maybe she still has it.
But this is the shirt we're dedicating to. We're bringing it back.
Okay, so this is a little bit from Madonna as well. Like it just has some little flavor.
I'm heckling.
I always like Madonna. Like I think she got a good energy. She's in New York. She got a good New York. I know she's from Michigan, but
that's me. I'm just being silly and heckling. But we all love Madonna. But again, she's so popular and magnetic in this era. Let me break it down.
I got you. Say everybody want to take his shirts.
Her and Deb Mazar are cute as cute can be, and they're dressed up as Smurfs every Friday night in the front of the Roxy in the hip hop days from '81 to '83. So these two Detroit girls or Michigan girls are bomb diggity shorties.
Got you. They're just out there living it.
She's Italian too. Madonna is Italian.
Right.
She can run on down if she wants. She loves a brewing.
I got you. I'm
so
from Brooklyn.
We call them also Huevo girls, right? Huevo. Because the breakdancing guys, all they're called the Huevo girls. Like,
does that mean
they like
ball girls?
They like balls. They like balls. They're not gay. They may look like lesbians dressed up as Smurfs, but they ain't gay. They're Huevo
I got
girls.
you.
So during the hip hop era, Madonna was badass like that. She was respected.
She was known.
She was respected for being a hot bunny. And she probably breakdanced her own way. She wasn't fronting. She was from a city, Detroit.
She had a dream though. She was
from
like
Michigan,
she got the energy.
She came to New York hard.
With the dream. I understand.
And photographers loved her. She took great nudes. Just her Brits or whoever. Madonna's cool.
Right. I've heard only good things.
Liberated and cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
And then she kept doing it into the '90s.
People hated on her because she did that like a virgin with a dress on the stage. Like fuck it, you got to make a living. This is MTV going to do something to move them.
Right.
And she's like, well, I'll dress up like a wife and say I like a virgin, you know?
Yeah, it seems silly when you look back on it now. It seems like so like PG comparison to what we're used to now.
And the only reason I brought this up is like, this sounds like shit to talk about Basquiat, but the truth was that people were all excited about.
You're saying they just say he had a magnetism about him and they just want to take his shit.
Precisely
what we got. Around him.
Let's get back to that. The whole thing I brought this up with was like to ask Madonna if she took a Comme des Garçons shirt from Jean. That's where I came from in the beginning.
I got you.
And that's not negative. That's just saying, I like her. That's just
reality, right?
We knew her. She lived on 4th Street. A lot of us knew her in the village. She came when we DJ'd places like Madame Rose's or Area or wherever, Pyramid Club.
She was on the scene.
She was there.
I got you. Mm-hmm. So now this same shirt that she may or may not have taken, we don't know. Now we're gonna print on this shirt with this picture, right? And the color choices that we've decided, because it's gonna be white shirt, right?
Yep.
We've chosen black and green, and in that picture it also says green skin on it.
Word. Right? That's something I didn't even talk about. So another thing about green, Jean had a beautiful but limited palette, great paints and great colors. But look. The green goes only in certain places. And green skin, I think for him, it could be like, has to do with envy. Like if you might be talking about somebody who's green skinned, they could be envious. Or not. Maybe reptiles have green skin, dark
but
green
then he
skin.
crossed it out too, though. So it's like
there it is. It says green skin, and then it's crossed out.
Yeah, so it's just a little. That's cool. So
and it says reptile mask, and that's crossed out. It says do not detach, do not, crossed out.
Mm-hmm. And then the crocodile is green, which is great because the crocodile is really the star of the show for me.
Yeah, it is. And I like the hybrid A-B, like type A, type B.
Right, I see
A,
that.
B, A and B as one.
Mm-hmm. That's cool with little stars around it.
And salt. I mean, he does do that a lot. He likes to tell
a lot of copyright, man. He copyrighted Jeremy. He copyrighted Salt. He copyrighted Bleedy Gums. There's 3 copyrights on there.
That's true.
That's awesome. All right, so then we put it on the shirt. It's a one-of-one shirt, and then it's like basically job done. And we put this out to the world, and we say like, hey, like this was the vision, and we did our part in the vision, and then that's it. Job well done.
A period in time that happened for New York that's really kind of it's beneficial. If it didn't happen for New York, if Ray Kawabuki didn't come to New York and Soho at that time and start making beautiful shirts and put him on a concrete slab like that and minimalizing and beautifying the Brooks Brothers shirt. I mean, that's my cut on her. It's like she just took a Brooks Brothers and went, wow, make it beautiful.
I like the Brooks Brothers have good material.
Of course, that was the same. They were the top, kind of like, that was the crispy cotton, nice shirt the guys like who could afford clothes wore.
Got you. I don't really know a lot of these brands becoming a fashion designer. Like,
me too.
But Brooks Brothers, I've seen and I've felt it, and like you see, like I like Talbots for women sometimes. Brooks Brothers, I like them. I even I remember wearing Talbots while I was in a band on stage because it just felt so good. Yeah. And it's a woman's jacket, but
on the stage for sure, because you're a musician, you're gonna like it's a self-wicking almost.
Yeah,
it's absorbable. It feel great. It feel nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else?
So green skin. I mean, we can interpret green skin as to being apple pie and ice cream for envy. Or you could interpret about green skin that being like what reptiles are. Maybe someone's anemic and they need more sunlight, and so a green skin thing.
Vitamin D, man.
You want to glow, right, in life? You want to get like bright, and you want to get the bronze if you can. If you're olive skinned, you want to get it. What's olive? Green. Could be an olive or brown, but it's kind of green, right?
I hear you.
So there, the tones of green is olive. So back to what you're saying.
Yeah,
black and green,
Yeah, black and green, and I'm just thinking like we do
red, black, and green. What's that? Africa, baby.
We do black and green, right? And it's like you got this. So there's only so many spots on the shirt, right? If we just talk about open real estate, right? You got the front and you got the back, and those are parallels, right? Front and the back. Then you have the sides, and they're also parallels, right? But the sides you only have from here to here. Yeah. It's not as big as the front and the back, and then you have the sleeves.
Right.
And you have this side of the sleeve, you have that side of the sleeve, and that's it. And then you have this area that sometimes doesn't get touched, and you can put little flavors up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I think about the color concept of like black and green, if we just keep it minimal, it's just 2 colors on a white shirt.
Just keep the white so fresh.
So you just black and green, and then on the sleeves, I think it's just reverse. It's green over the white with highlights of black.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple crocodiles up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do the crocodile separate and then the top separate, and just put them together. And
the best thing is to make we're making one.
Just one.
But in your mind, make 3.
I do like
what do we carpenter? 3. What's the carpenter? Measure thrice, cut once.
I hear you.
So what Dave and I are talking about, right, we're sharing with you, because most people don't get to hear these interior creative thoughts. That's what we're doing over the board when we're doing it. Or when he's doing a screen or whatever, he's not going to talk to you about this. But we're going to tell you the truth is, like, when you're doing something like this, an homage to someone like Basquiat, we're going to think 3 times before we make it.
I got you. Really.
So that's what we're giving you. We're giving the homage. There's the truth here that both Dave and I are going to give.
Make sure that these decisions are correct. You order a shirt, you have this.
We're talking once now about it, like he's saying. But that, even having to talk about that, shows you that we're going to break it down.
So make sure we do it right.
Break it down right.
And make sure that it hits right. Those pockets are tough. Printing over pockets are tough, but hopefully they're flat. And black is good because it makes it real strong. It's very easy to see.
You just said it. Inside if we lift the pocket flaps up, we could write green skin and then flap it back down so it's hidden.
You can put a little hidden message in there.
And we lift up the other one that says what? Do not detach. Ooh. Put it down. Or eros, like one of the eros under the other one. Oh, duality. Eros and crocodile or whatever. They didn't write crocodile, but I'm saying to you, like,
I like the hidden things in there, like having a hidden
under
thing
the pocket. We could use it for the script, for some of the words we could use under the pocket. That's the idea, I thought, maybe.
I'm thinking if anything, it should be to Jeremy, because that's what it is. It's really something that he gave you. So if it said like to Jeremy,
and now you're killing nothing in the if pocket, one says to Jeremy underneath the flap, it's genius. That wasn't even. Jeremy, I didn't even think that. That's better than. It's way better than do not detach.
And if that's the only message too, you don't even have a second message, and just to Jeremy, and it's just like that's enough.
Power. Give me one more.
Or maybe you put
that's what it is. You see what you.
But I put his signature too, though. Because I think that's important.
Put the Jean-Michel on the other one.
Yeah, on the other one. Yeah.
To Jeremy Jean-Michel. Yeah, that's genius. That's why he's the boss.
It makes sense to me.
That's why he's the boss.
That makes sense to me. Well, that's awesome, man. I love the visualization. I appreciate the story, taking the time to sit down.
Thank you. Love and respect. Yo,
yes, sir.
Y'all know we're for real.
Yes, sir.
We are this for real, and it's not like money making. If you always want to help us in the future, you just keep rolling with Snow Milk, baby.
Word. Well, you know that art, man, you could sell it if you wanted to. So I feel like it's not about money, and I don't think it ever should be about money. I think it's like, I'm just gonna end it on this one. This is
2 and 4 dedication. If I do sell it, I'm gonna get more money than I know what to do with.
I don't know. I hope
go look at
as long as you're happy, man. I want you to be happy. You know, that's the most important thing.
I'd rather help you doing my artwork for Snow Milk than honestly, which I hope to do for y'all. But the bottom line is if you look truthfully on Basquiat, it's like, this guy is so already deeply in the mind thinking, like the Brooklyn Museum show, like kids were drawing on a pad in one of the back corner rooms.
I grew up drawing at the Brooklyn Museum. Yeah, right. That was me.
That was you. So when I would go see those shows, I'd see guys go in there and draw on the pad after a show. It's like, come on, man, this guy's such a great influencer. I mean, or even my experience in my life and like why I wanted to like make the art I did. If you met him at that time when I met him, we both did watercolors, and in the end of the watercolor, 2 hours later, it's a snake. And we just put teeth and eyes on it. It was a cobra. But for 3 hours on the table, we kept moving the thing around, didn't know what it was.
Until you see it, and you just like, oh, he's a little eyeball right there, done.
So I collaborated with him, and you can find pieces. I did a piece that sold for like probably $800,000 in some auction. It was a giant crate, and I put all the bottle caps on it. I nailed hundreds of bottle caps on it, and enamel painted all around the bottle caps, and let him come in over and do all these collages and stuff on it. And that's it. So full. He didn't do much of that work on that piece at all, except for coming in and doing some oil stick on it and some telling me where to put to matte medium on some of his Xerox drawings. He said, "Put those there, put those there," and he came over and put some paint field over that. And then he goes, "Make sure it's all bottle cap, so it looks like something that got slid down the street on the Bowery."
Gave you a little vision. And you had to do the
like,
application of the vision.
What do you mean? He was like pound a bunch of like nail or screw a bunch of bottle caps into beer bottle caps, like hundreds of them, a couple hundred, and then turn it on the ground, the concrete floor, and then push it for a while, grind on the sidewalk.
So it looks really like beat
so
up.
It's ground up and raw and gritty. You know, getting the aluminum to sparkle.
Gotcha.
And getting the colors to just the advertisement names to grind away a little bit.
Word.
And then he threw some enamel paint and that was it. But that piece I'm saying to you, he did very little on. I did more of it. And that shit sold for hundreds of thousands.
Word. So Art World, what an interesting thing.
At that time, art assistants were sometimes doing, and I'm not boasting. That sounded like I was boasting. I'm saying
you're like a ghostwriter. Be a ghostwriter of the. Basically.
Correct. Art World at that time was like Robert Longo had great assistants, incredible artists working for him. Mark Nurst, Steve Callisto, like a lot of people worked for Robert Longo.
If you have to do a lot of scales of shit, one of one is easy. It's just you. But if you have to do 100,
it's arguable that Robert Longo brought in that whole director role as an artist, the director.
I don't even know who this person is, but I just can understand that you need assistance.
Upstate New Yorker.
Okay.
Guess where his studio was?
Bearsville.
Half a block from your store on John Street or on Fulton. Robert
down there, South Street.
He's doing portraits of David Byrne from Talking Heads, half a block from your studio with it. And that used to be an oyster bar. It was an oyster bar where you have Snow Milk.
There's a good energy there, man.
Great place. So right around the block, and where that new big building is, there was an old lower building, smaller building.
I got you at the pier.
Right. That building was where he lived and had a studio in. Robert
I was just there, man, partying with 311.
He had a show in the Brooklyn Museum, one of the first big shows, and he did a show called Metropolis, where he did actually a whole giant, made all of his artist friends become like part of a conceptual art movement in the museum to show the city. It was really wild. We had to dress up in these suits and just walk through the museum and pose these poses and stuff. Like, he just, it was, Robert Longo was a great, from Albany, but he was a great, intelligent artist that had set up in when, say, Chase Bank and all these banks and corporate money and started buying New York artists.
Real estate, I got you.
That's what Robert Longo was showing at Metro Pictures, and he went right into the museums that way. Donald Saatchi has some beautiful pieces, and other people bought beautiful pieces by him. because
there's much to learn from you, man. You have a lot of information. You know what I mean? You should teach a class.
Hey, Longo, if you go to the Saatchi Museum in St. John's Wood in London, there's a life bust, me actually 3D, 100% living, in a piece called Tongue to the Heart by Robert Longo. So I'm actually, you can see me at what I looked like when I was 19.
Word.
And the piece was done with a cast in the Ranieri Foundry, and Domenico put a shot of brandy after I'd been in there for 25 minutes in a fully enclosed life body cast from my waist over my ears and everything, head and ears, and with my hands holding my temples like I was going nuts or blowing up. And at the end of it, Domenico puts a shot of like gnarly Courvoisier with a straw in it and puts a straw in my nose. After 40 minutes in plaster, I'm barely holding my brain meditatively. And suddenly I go, and I start sneezing my ass off inside plaster because this Italian guy puts fucking Courvoisier up my nostril. God. But that piece of sculpture is in, Robert Longo pieces in Tongue to the Heart in the Saatchi Museum in London. And so I'm lucky to have assisted some guys in the 80s.
Bro, you're a legend, man. Is there anything that you would like to, as a legend, leave to the people out there? Is there any like final words before we...
I'm doing the respect he's giving me and the respect that we're giving Jean. I'm just doing that. Let's keep it nice and tone it back down. I got a lot of energy right now, but I want to tone it right back down to like this respect I have for Dave, Scooby, his family.
Scooby is the snacks. Doobie is the joint.
Damn, I did it again.
Doobie. It's all
the respect I have for Dave.
Yeah, you know me as Dave, and that's easy. That stays for me.
All right, the respect I have for Dave, and the respect I know for Snow Milk through my close brethren, Jamie Affamato. Now, Pup is the man. This guy got to be the man. It's no way that you can have one partner for life that knows immense things about people, immense soulful, intuitive skills with the human being. Teaching them in Kung Fu everything, music, jazz, how not to be a spaz, the whole thing. Pup's great. And that's his partner. So we're probably bigger than a trio, but in the end, we're going to be more than a trio. We're going to be like the 9 Musketeers.
Word. Blessings.
You know what I mean?
Blessings, bro.
So love is collaboration.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what we're doing here. We're showing the love. Dave, I show it for myself. I show it for him. We show it for the product. We show it for Jean-Michel. And in a sense, maybe for Madonna.
Right, maybe they'll come back. You know what? You know what would be so crazy?
What I mean? Come on, Madonna, show us one of those shirts you took from Jean. Let's do another one for you. Madonna,
yes,
I'll call
after
you out.
See this, after you see this,
if you got any Jean shirts, if that shirt is still precious to you,
wow,
as I'm sure memories of Jean-Michel are, Madonna, bring that shirt to us. We'll screen it for you.
Yeah, we'll do another one. It'll be
we'll do another one for you if you want.
But only you, though.
Only Madonna.
Only if you still have that shirt, because that really connects all the dots.
I'll put money she does.
We'll see. We're gonna put this out to the world, and we'll see what it.
You see that? Itchy palm.
We'll see what happens, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. It's coming out soon. If it's not already out, that means we're working on it. But we're doing it all with love, like you said.
That's what we're throwing it down to.
Yes, sir.
And even those last little sarcastic ones on our girl Bandana. Yeah. Love.